Welcome, I'll be discussing Joan Harrington. She is portrayed by the brilliant Antonia Ellis, not to be confused with Lieutenant Ellis, who's a character on the show. She is my absolutely favorite Moonbase character. Generally, you'll find her over at the secondary tracking station, in the control room, aka Module 3 Command and Control Sphere. Basically, after disembarking and you get to Central Park, turn left and then left again. She tends to be very serious and professional, although she has this kind of mischievous sense of humor that comes through every now and then.
Nice streak and a sly old
fox.
I'm guessing if there had been a season 2, we would have gotten a little bit more backstory about her. Obviously, we get to see her in every intro of the show. But I wanted to walk through the episodes where she's actually involved in the story in some way. We will start with Identified.
Filters.
Check.
Fluctuation.
Affirmative.
Reflex.
Excuse me.
Joan, announce a yellow alert for 10:45.
Yes, Lieutenant.
And complete the status check. I think this is going to be for real.
Moonbase will be on yellow alert from 10:45 Earth elapsed time.
We see right away that Joan is important. She's on comms as well as tracking, calling for a yellow alert. She's one of those crucial background characters who's making sure everything is running smoothly. A little bit like Lieutenant Ford.
Liftoff clearance. Roger, Seagull X-ray. You are clear to go.
You know, 10:45.
Right.
Here we see her again, kind of as officer of the deck. Efficiency through and through. On to Computer Affair. I absolutely love this scene. It is right after the devastating interceptor attack where Alec has become convinced it was Lieutenant Ellis's fault. It wasn't. And she's been called back to Earth. In major trouble.
Has anyone seen Lieutenant Ellis?
She's in Central Park.
Thanks. Well, there's one of the lucky ones who'll be back on terra firma tomorrow.
If by terra firma you mean Straker's carpet. Rather them than me.
I really like how relatable that is. Nobody's perfect. She's just like, you know what? I'm just glad it's not me. We've all been there at work. In Conflict, though, we get to see her loyalty to other members of SHADO. She was on duty when the astronauts in Module 32 were killed. And she was guiding them along when the alien device came and ruined everything. So I think she felt partially responsible for what happened. Especially since they didn't know what it was at the time. Again, she's basically OOD, this time covering for Foster, who has gone off against orders to try and figure out what happened.
What's going on here? What the devil's going on? Who's in that module? Why didn't you tell me? Any of you?
Not only does she agree with his plan, she actively put her own career at risk to stall Alec. This shows how fiercely loyal she is. Joan is the friend that you want watching your back. In the end, Alec gives her a pass, probably partly because she does have a good sense of humor and he knows why she did it. I'm guessing it went on her record, though. Sometimes we get episodes where she doesn't do much other than simply be there efficiently doing her job. For example, Exposed.
Control to interceptors. Green 140.
Moonbase to SHADO control.
Ordeal.
017 348 101.
The Responsibility Seat.
How far away is it now?
1,500 meters.
And E.S.P. She's definitely one of the people to turn to as a maths expert, as we see in Flight Path. They turn to Joan to figure out what exactly is going on.
I've had Joan Harrington work over Roper's figures.
And what does she make of them?
The relative position of the Sun, Moon, and Earth would fit Roper's figures. One snag. The last set of information is a time reference, but it still doesn't make sense.
Well, you've come up with enough to scare the daylights out of me, Lieutenant.
Well, if you permutate it differently. If you insist, Lieutenant.
She's not coldly logical all the time, though. Check out this scene in the same episode where her empathy shows through. She walks Roper out to the airlock. She did not need to do that. But she knows he's probably not coming back, and it means a lot that she stayed with him as long as she could until he went out alone to, well, not come back.
Good luck, Paul.
She may be serious about her job, but her compassion continually shows in scenes. Note here how she looks during the funeral in the episode Survival.
Astronaut William Grant, killed in the line of duty, April the 12th, 1981.
Back to being acting commander in the same episode. She is already anticipating what Commander Straker might want. There's just one problem. We all know what Ed's #1 priority is. And it's not SHADO.
You better tell one of those astronauts to get those aerial photos in here fast. That's the first thing he'll ask for.
The second thing, Space Tracker Harrington. The first thing is a cup of coffee. Perhaps you'd be good enough to organize that. Oh, Harrington. That's with cream and sugar, please.
Yes, sir.
I love the absolute disgust on her face. He got Lieutenant Ellis coffee in close-up, so we know he's capable of doing it. And then almost immediately afterward, where does Straker go? The leisure sphere, where there is coffee. Get it yourself, Ed. He's lucky we all really like him. She did survive the coffee incident because we see her back on the job a few minutes later. And here's where we get a really interesting insight into her personality and work style.
They'll soon be in darkness. Tell them to stick together.
Control to mobiles. Maintain close visual contact.
Roger, Control.
Notice how Commander Straker gives a very casual order of stick together, but Joan rewords it when she relays the order. I love her. Also, alas, she's team UFO along with S.H.A.D.
The interceptor leader has visual contact. The UFO is lifting off.
I guess I won't hold it against her, but you know, every character has to have one flaw. Oh, here's another cute moment I love. Foster has been presumed dead, and Mark assumes command of Moonbase. He's super nervous on his first day. You can tell he's like fiddling with his uniform and walking in like, look at how beautifully she welcomes him and just makes him feel comfortable.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
I'd just like to say we're glad to have you with us, sir.
Thank you very much.
Okay, this is a really tiny scene in the square triangle, and I only spotted it because I was, well, looking for her because of this video. Commander Straker gives the order not to intercept the UFOs. So they come hurtling towards Moonbase, and he's like, yeah, don't intercept, because he has another plan in mind. But look at Joan in the background.
Repeat, interception negative. Interceptors to return to Moonbase.
This is Moonbase control to interceptors.
She's like, what? All right, we'll finish up with close-up. Poor Lieutenant Ellis has been working really, really hard, and Commander Straker has not been being very pleasant to her. He has his own kind of world going on and has not noticed just how mean he's been being. I don't think he did it deliberately. I really don't. But the result was she was feeling really bad about herself. And let's say morale was low. She's basically in charge of $1 billion project. And she's sitting at her desk, clearly spiraling. Look at what Joan does. We're talking about someone who very rarely smiles on the show. Yet in this scene, she walks up to Lieutenant Ellis with her clipboard and is basically saying, "You've got this, girl. All of us here believe in you. I don't care what Commander Straker says. It's such a quick scene, but it speaks volumes to Joan's character. That she noticed, before anyone else did, that Lieutenant Ellis was in trouble and tried to do what she could. Commander Straker does eventually figure out what's going on, and he gives that beautiful pep talk to Lieutenant Ellis. But Joan figured it out first. Throughout the rest of that episode, she is an integral part of the Discovery team.
Detonation confirmed, sir.
Even though we don't get to see a lot of scenes with her on the show, what we do see is so impressive that I just absolutely love her character. She's one of my favorite on the show, and I'll be honest, she's my number 2 pick to ask out if SHADO was real after Miss Eland. She might get a little bit annoyed though with my complete lack of any math knowledge. Like, she may not have made it into the personnel section of the technical manual, but nevertheless, to me, she is an integral part of the SHADO team. If you have any favorite Harrington scenes, let me know in the comments. And also, if there was a season 2, what kind of stories would you have liked to see from her? Until next time, Interceptors, immediate launch.